not distort as I'm doing it. And of course, not smear as much either. Just broaden that out. And open that grain. Just gonna open up these dry spots.
Now, how often are you going to do that on here?
I'll do this 8 times on this one, but I'll do 8 panels. I tend to come back and really get a little OCD and start counting rings and making sure I'm at the same depth.
Now, if you would make a mistake with this, can you use that clay over again?
Well, clay's always going to be clay until you fire it, so
Yeah.
yes.
Good.
It does hurt my feelings a lot to lose it because, of course, I can't unwind it. And of course.
So you have to lump it up together and
Yeah,
put
you gotta
moisture into it.
I get
so it's-
creative. So you see this bowl here, that vase over there. That's actually my turned scrap. So I take the trimmings and all the turning slip and everything and just turn that together. This is sort of varying stages of that drying, and so it's like turning chunky peanut butter. It's not pleasant. You know, you've got air bubbles all through it, and it is a thick, nasty mess because it doesn't want to cooperate. But I can go back and trim that down.
But you have other tools to use, don't you, to make designs?
All I do is really just the clay itself. I don't mess with a lot of anything else. Just a clear glaze, just let the clay do the talking. I've been focused on that for the last 12 years.
So that could be a glass, really.
Oh, it is. I do workshops across the country whenever possible. I basically try and let my job take me places and give me a working paid vacation if I can.
Okay, where have you all been?
I've been to Lafayette. I've done a couple workshops around here. I just started my whole workshop process right before COVID, and so I got a couple of them lined up, and of course that got canceled. So now we're back on track. I'm going to Fort Collins, Colorado in September, and trying to line a few more up as we go. So I'm always asking anybody that if you know a clay guild, let's set something up. Everyone seems to be trying to get them going again. Just trying to make sure that people have at least a year's experience in turning, because it gets just to where I have to teach turning, and that's no good. I don't mind doing it, but for the folks that don't want to learn hagglewear, it's a whole different thing.
So that's what you did to these right up there then?
Yes.
All those others, and they're starting to dry there.
Most of those are bone dry. So I'm trying to get the majority of the clay over here. Should be able to pop the great origin out here. It's just soft enough. I was distorted here just a touch as well. Be careful. Pushed back out again.
And so the lip, do you do anything special to the lip then?
Well, no, not really. I just try not to cut in too much and just leave it as it is. I'll certainly go back and shave it just to make sure. But you can kind of use the flatness of this blade and start to shave that down. Really start looking for that nice, even symmetry of that spiral. The geometry of the patterns is even all the way around, and so should the pattern. Geometry of the cup.
And that's just from all this, it's just from that one clay. It has those different kinds. Really interesting.
Essentially, every piece of pottery has some form of this twist taking place in it to some degree. Just depends on the turn.
So what do you glaze these with then?
Clay glaze, just a simple 3-ingredient glaze. It's silica, Gersley borate, and
So it doesn't add any color to it at all?
Not at all.
It's kind of like clear nail polish.
Yep. So vastly simplified my life. It's made me into a much calmer person by going onto the clear glaze.
So I use the same technique in that bowl in front of you?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Just carve the outside of it, lift the inside spiral. Same with this one, carve the outside, the inside's got a spiraling going down in there.
Do you really want to hurt me? Do you really want to make me cry? No, then don't touch.
I find that
Are there people who try to touch?
all the time, constantly. Every sign, actually, this is my second shelf, and I filled up my last shelf in about 10 years. And it was every time someone broke something, I wrote a new sign. And there was like 30 signs on there before.
Oh my
People just
gosh.
don't know, you know, I can't blame them, you know, they're not potters, they just don't know. So,
Well, you don't have to worry about me because I've done this a
That was
long
fun.
time ago. We didn't have clay like this.
nobody does. I mean, you know, you got white clay and then you got your varying forms of brown clay, but I had to make this purple clay.
Yeah, it was brown clay. And it's funny how glazes work differently on one kind of clay than on another type of
Yeah.
clay.
So my clear glaze, if it's on a dark brown clay body, generally it's like a good clear, but if you get just a little bit thick, it turns just like milky blue kind of color.
Oh.
That's the Gersley-Boré movement spinning, or spine reacting with the iron.
So once you fill these up, you can put all of them into your kiln?
Like I said, about 6 of these shelves, so yeah, I could
You got,
do
like-
these there, that would fill my kiln probably.
Wow, it's a big kiln.
It's not that, I mean, you can see it out there, it's just one of those about 2.5 wide by 2.5 tall kind of octagon kilns. It is of size.
Okay, what temperature do you put it at?
These go to about 22 for their glaze firing, 1800 for the disc firing.
Bisque firing, yeah. Is that one you did over there, in the corner there?
Yeah, I mean, basically all these things, that jug there you're talking about there?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that was my scraps. The bottom of that section is all those scraps just like that, and I hand built.
Wow, well, that's still quite unique.
And then I turned the top and attached the two together. That was another one of the uses of trying to figure out what to do with my scraps.
Well, that is quite unique. I like it.
It is, you know, it's always a neat thing to do. You start cutting into that scrap, it looks like granite almost, or some kind of marbled, depending on how.
It does look marbly. Do you see what we're talking about, honey?
Mm-hmm.
Occasionally I'll get a little crazy with some, and instead of trying to turn it, I'll just fold, almost like I'm doing Damascus steel, and just keep folding until it gets a very marbleized look. Then I'll just flat it out into a disc, so with all this marbling, and I can do a little trick of bringing that wall back up, and so get bowls or cups, and not have a tremendous amount of spiraling to them, but still have that good marbly look.
It does look nice. Is it heavy then, or?
That piece, not tremendously. It's somewhat heavy. I've been putting all my little sponge shavings over the years. Every time my sponge lets loose a little crumble, I just throw it in there. So it might be kind of heavier than it was before.
Because what you put in it.
Yeah. Tend to get a little bit OCD on these cups. I really like to see those images repeating themselves. And we've got that little dark layer. As we travel this way, the eye spots kind of open up. So this,
Yeah.
this phases of the moon quality that ends up happening. So we want this dark spot here to kind of start broadening because that one was so large. This one, I want that to open up entirely. This one, since that one's already open, we'll just go ahead and start.
Now, some of your clay pieces over there that you're going to be putting in to dry, they're kind of lighter color than this.
Yeah, wet versus dry basically is what you're looking at.
Okay, what about the bottom, or is that just because it's in the shade?
This is the same, this one here is the same color. This is just dry.
Okay, go behind them, this way, back that way.
This guy here, no, that's actually a purple and a blue and a white. There's no brown in that at all.
Oh, okay, that's what I was wondering. Interesting.
Yeah,
So
I'm
that's
doing-
purple, blue, and white.
The purple is for my anniversary series. I always do the blue and white and brown combination. I always do the brown and white combination. But every year for my anniversary, I'll do a run of about 150 to 200 pots of just a
Just the
series,
blue.
numbered series, and that keeps my collectors real happy.
So when was your anniversary?
It will be on July 15th,
Oh.
and I will be releasing all these purples then.
Mm.